I'm going to take a quick break from our regularly scheduled program of building the 73 Pro Touring Camaro and talk a little bit about this system here called the Wheel Fit, which is actually the name of the system and I think the name of the company. So some of you probably have seen this. Essentially what it is a jig that allows you to hold the tire that you want to use in place so you can figure out if it's going to fit. And primarily why I got this was so I could figure out the offset, because I'm trying to fit 315 millimeters in the front and the rear, so it's going to be snug. And I know a lot of you guys probably looked at this and agonized over buying it. I mean, you may use it just a handful of times in your life, and it's not the cheapest thing. It's a little over $400, but when you think about it, I'm going to get custom wheels for this car, and if I get it wrong, that's on me, and then I have a bunch of very expensive, very useless wheels. So if this prevents me from, or this helps me get it right, this thing costs, you know, like 1/2 of one of the wheels. So it's worth it, and I'm sure it'll probably make its money back in beer by letting people borrow it. So let's talk about it a little bit, what it is and some of the issues with it. So it's got this plate right here. You can put up to 5 bolts. This particular one is set up to work for 4 and 5 bolt out to a fairly large diameter, like 5" or something, so it works fine for the GM 4x120 or 5x120 millimeter or whatever. So you have to order that from the beginning. These holes right here, how you set the diameter, I think this setup can do it down to 14" wheels and up to 20" wheels. However, one of the problems with the system is typically you run these plates on this side, but on a 14, this tab on the main plate actually runs into the radius fillet back here. And so if you run a 14, you have to flip the plate, and then you have to be careful about how you measure your offset, which is up here. So heads up for that. But I've got it in the spot for 18. And then for wheel width, basically, let's see if I can get a little bit more light on there for you. Basically, it's got this this mark here, and it's got this sliding shoe. So this piece bolts to this piece, and it's got this piece that can slide back and forth. So it's pretty nice. A lot of the pieces are cast, and it's got little divots in here so it slots into the correct inches. And I've got this set for 11 inches wide right now, and it's got little adjustable fingers. So that's all really nice. And then how you get your offset is by, there's a wing nut back here, and you loosen this one, and you loosen the one on this side over here. And then you can slide this whole arm in and out on both sides, and that gets you your offset. So it's very adjustable. It's a little fiddly to set up initially. What I found is getting these adjusted to the right width was easy. Getting these in the right hole for the 18" wheel that's on here was a little bit tough, because the wheel is actually the tire needs to be expanded a little bit. And so what I ended up doing was actually rolling it sideways, so it was sitting like this, and then push down on the tire to squeeze it a little bit, and then I could slip the bolts in, and then it held it in place. Another fiddly thing is it's only got 2 arms. I know that they just came out with a new one that has 3. It's more expensive though. It's not that big of a deal. It works with 2. Just keep in mind that it can sag one way or the other, and so if you spin the wheel, you can kind of look and see if one end's a little higher, and if it is, then if this end's high, just hit it down, or if this end's low, just pop it up, and just make sure that you kind of center it every time you do something. So that's not a big deal either. Kind of one of the things that was the major kind of pain in the butt was this piece right here, this shoe right here that moves in and out to set the width of the wheel, has a slot in it, and it's set up so that the bolt that tightens the offset goes through the shoe, and then it clamps it all together. But the problem is if you have a really wide wheel, and especially a really wide wheel with a very deep dish, and this will be the case on the back. This is the front, so this isn't even quite as bad. That bolt that goes through here won't go through the shoe. It just goes straight through the main sort of arm. And that's a problem because there's a place here where there's about a 1/2 inch or more of room where it's blocked off. So if you happen to have the right combination of wheel width and backspace, you can't actually make this thing do that. So you'd almost have to like space it in and then put a spacer behind it. Like, so go on one side or the other of the blockage and put spacers behind it to get that one spot. Now, you know, it's kind of a roll of the dice whether that's going to be a problem for you. I think it's going to work out for me. But just kind of a note there. let's see, anything else? Yeah, other than that, I would say it's definitely worthwhile if you're going to spend money on custom wheels. If you're ordering wheels that are kind of already stock and ordered, you may be able to turn them back in, but custom wheels, it's definitely worth the money. A little fiddly, but there's really nothing else out there that does this job. And I can tell you, I already have realized by getting this and putting it on and moving this suspension through all the travel and turning that I would have probably gotten it wrong had I not had this tool. So just if you're getting expensive wheels, bite the bullet and buy one.